Hi everybody, Heather here with Christmas Design Institute, and today we're talking about wreaths. Wreaths can be really fun but also very intimidating. So I'm going to teach you some principles of design, what materials to use, and how to make some beautiful wreaths yourself. So here I have a wreath that I just created by basically putting in the floral stems without having any type of glue or wire. So we call them the mechanics, and that would be your floral wire, your glue, or anything that is creating your infrastructure. And I actually love designing without making things permanent. So I love to change this wreath from season to season. So this is a particular wreath I made for fall. And if you can see, some of the design principles are balance, proportion, rhythm, things like that. If you're interested in more details, you can enroll and decorate like a pro, and that's where I really go into depth of all the principles of design. In these videos, I just kind of touch here and there on some of the principles. But what you want basically is your eye to flow around the circle. So you want it to be one continuous visual movement. You don't want your eye to get stuck at a certain place unless it's like a bow or a focal point or something like that. And that's okay, but in this purpose, I chose not to use any ribbon at all. So I just strategically placed my florals, and basically it's the same thing all the way around. And if I wanted to, I could probably take this guy out and put a big bow right here, or I could put a bow down here and let the tails hang down. There's so many different things that you can do with wreaths. This is just one example, but I can go ahead and take all of this decor off, put new decor in for, let's say, 4th of July, or make a spring wreath, or make it, however you want. I use this as the base, and I do several different things with it. That's one example. Okay, let's show another example. So let's talk about some of the items you can use. So these are wreath holders, they're wire, and they come in all different kinds of shapes. And this one actually I got at the dollar store, and it's for candy canes, but I actually make a horse out of this. So the mane comes down and I make it, like a horse. And so that's really fun to do. Wreaths don't necessarily need to be in a circle. They can be anything pretty much that hangs on your door. I do a witch, we call it a witch wreath class. It's super, super cute. I should have grabbed it. It's on my front door right now. But for Halloween, we make this witch wreath, and it's really adorable. These are smaller rings, and you can get 3 of them and make a snowman. That's a really cute idea. And then there's square wreaths. So there's lots of different things that you can do. When it comes to how to hang your wreath on the door, or if you're working at a client's home, or if you're just wondering how to hang your own wreath, this is a really good wreath hanger, and you can find these online. But basically it moves, so you can measure based on what you're using as far as a wreath. It has these little notches on the back, and it moves up and down where the hook is. So it's kind of cool because you can adjust your wreath and where you want it, and you can bring these to clients' houses, and then some people have really huge doors, some people have smaller doors, and you're not going to get stuck with putting the wreath on the door and having it look not proportionate to the door itself. A couple of other ways you can do it is you can put a nail or a screw at the very top if it's a wood door, and kind of level it down and keep that in all year round. That is not going to show, and you take a wire and you run a wire down, you cover it with ribbon, and you attach it to the wreath. That's another way. There's also suction cups that you can use either on glass, if it's a glass door or a window or something like that, you can hang your wreath that way. Or Home Shopping Network, they have, or QVC, they have these stickums where it's like a very strong It's not adhesive, it's just something that adheres to a mirror or glass, and it's a hook, and then you can hang the wreath that way. So there's several different methods, whether you're using a door hanger like this, or an actual screw, or an actual suction cup or adhesive hook. Show you some more examples. So this particular wreath is store-bought, so there's all kinds of wreaths, but they're very expensive. Let's see, this one was from Hobby Lobby, and I noticed, excuse me, that the price tag was still on here, and can't find it. But if I'm not, okay, here it is. So, let's see, it is marked $69.99, so $70 for this, and then they always do the 40% off. But still, at 40% off, that's a lot for a wreath. And so, what I like to do is find florals on sale, or pick things up at garage sales or estate sales or things like that, and just make my own, because these store-bought are very, very expensive. But this is another type of backing that you can use. It's like, I don't even know what you call it, but it's just like a bunch of, looks like sticks that are put together. I really actually don't know the formal name of that particular wreath in the back. This is a grapevine wreath, so this is something else you can use to make your wreaths. And same thing, I just made this for a door, but I just quickly put these on, and they've kind of moved out of place now. But basically it's just floral picks, and you just get however many you need based on how big your wreath is, and you just go ahead and slip them in to the grapevine wreath itself. And I don't even wire them in. And I can, once I get it up on the door or the wall, I can manipulate those picks to stay in place for the season. So I like to do things where I can take them apart. Some people like to do things that it's a more permanent situation. Okay, so talking about Christmas wreaths, so there's this one where we all know, and this is the wire backing, of course, with the pine. And let's see, let's go ahead and put this guy up here so we can talk about this. So the other thing is that I am hanging these wreaths on. This is actually for a funeral, and it's for a floral arrangement at a funeral. It's a stand. You can get these at wholesalers, or if you want one, just contact me. I can get you one. But basically, I learned about this stand because I was a florist for 10 years. And so this was awesome to hold your wreath, and you can design as you're looking at it, and it's kind of eye level. And instead of putting it flat down on a table, that's harder to see versus if it's up, like if it were on a door, you can actually see how it's looking and putting it together. So this is a flocked wreath, and this would be another option that you could do. This one is battery operated, which I prefer. And this is really super simple, and you just kind of hide the battery pack, which is really awesome. Everybody likes their wreaths lit up that I work with for my clients. And then this was the commercial bow that came with it. I didn't mind it, but let's bring it a little bit more forward so you can see the bow. I didn't mind the bow, but honestly, I'd probably go ahead and just make my own bow and make it a little bit more proportioned. This looks a little interesting where it's just, and especially in this video, it doesn't look right. But actually in person, it's not bad. But I had two on the door, and it actually mimicked each other, so it was okay. But if you're interested in making bows, you can take the bow class, and we talk all about different kinds of ribbon, mechanics, how to make bows, and what the appropriate position and places to put bows. So if you're interested in that, you can visit the website at christmasdesigninstitute.com, where all of our classes are held. You can register there. So let's see. The last wreath I want to talk about is same thing, Christmas wreath, just your classic Christmas wreath. This one is plug-in. So when you're shopping for wreaths, you want to look and see if it's plug-in or battery operated. Now, of course, battery operated, you're going to have to manage the batteries. And if you're buying for a client, then they have to change out batteries. If you're plugging in, then you don't have that problem, but you do have the problem of finding electrical. So those are just some things to consider based on where you're going to put the wreath. If it's on a front door, electrical probably isn't going to work out. But if it's on your front gate, then maybe you can wire it into the wires that are outside with the exterior lighting if you're having holiday lighting put up for the season. So, but basically this wreath again is just something that I put together for a client, but it's just all basically the same decor running all the way around. And then what I usually do is put a big bow here on the top, sometimes to the side. It just depends on where the wreath is going. So those are some basic principles of wreath decorating and creating your own wreath. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at any time. And this is Heather with Christmas Design Institute. Check out our YouTube channel for more decorating videos and our website to register for class in the mentorship program. See you next time. Thank you.